1071 WTJN. Good morning. I'm Clint Myers, and this is our hour-long Saturday morning programming brought to you by Outlook Financial Center. Time now for the Mayor's Report, and with me is Mayor Michael Beamish.
I am here, and boy, is it winter, which we kind of waited for, but January is certainly a definite winter season, and we've certainly seen that.
I could have kept waiting a little bit longer.
I think we both I bet there's not many people that would challenge us on that, but winter does come, and winter is upon us, and you know, Clint, I got to start by giving you a compliment, and I mean this sincerely. I know you and I have worked this show for many times, and and David too gets out and about and really has really helped be a positive community influence. But boy, I have heard from a number of folks that you on Troy Community Radio certainly try to help our street crews out by talking about suggestions and ideas to help as citizens, and I'm one, to assist the street crews, especially when we have major snow incidents like in events like we've had in the past.
They're just little things that we could do on our own properties that would really assist the street workers, as well as it helps us out in the long run.
Well, it does, and Clint, you make some really good suggestions, and maybe for those who are listening, because obviously we are in the middle of a winter season, talk about some of the things that you really truly believe in, and that we as citizens can help our street crews when it comes to snow clearing and snow removal.
One of the biggest things for me, and we all get the plows come down our street, the secondary streets, especially in our neighborhoods, and someone might complain that the front of their driveway got plowed back in after they spent all that time shoveling. If you get on it real quick, it's easy to move. It's when it sits there and refreezes. But if you get that out of the way, something else that you keep in mind, my driveway's on a little bit of a hill, and I have 2 storm water drains. I'm on a corner property. So you see all the snow, well, the water has to have somewhere to go. So I have made sure, even as the plows have continued, that I go out and you keep those storm water drains clear, and you make sure that along your gutter out there at the street, there's a place for water to run so it can get to the stormwater drains. Otherwise, you're going to wind up with a pond like me in front of the driveway, and as soon as night comes and it freezes,
you got slick fly.
Oh my gosh, you could go ice skating. But I mean, that helps out the people in their own homes, because it keeps water from backing up that might leach into their basement or cause other problems.
Well, you bring up 2 really good points, and the one, clearing out the storm sewer drains, and to do it quickly, while if the snow plows do come through and it does cover the snow, to get out there while it's still easy to move around. Once it freezes, it's a challenge for a person like me who's an older citizen.
You'll need a spud bar to go out and break it out.
So that's number one, is stay on top of it. And the reason we keep those clear is, like you say, so the water drains into an area that doesn't back up and refreeze and cause a serious problem and possible injury to the people that are moving up and down the streets. Another
tip about that, when you're thinking about your driveway and clearing that out, you can greatly reduce the amount of snow that could wind up pushed back in front of your driveway by which side of the street you live on, and know that the truck is going to be coming from left to right in front of your house. So put the snow that you shovel out to the right side of your driveway, so it doesn't pick up the same pile that you just moved and spread it across.
And you bring up about snowplows. You know, if we're able, and many people don't have the option, but if you can move your car off the street,
Oh, yes.
and where the plows can come down, they don't have to use that blade back and forth, in and out. They can go right down. And I this past weekend I had the opportunity to drive around to see what was going on, and I think our street crews did a marvelous job.
Oh,
of a
absolutely.
major snow event, and they were able to stay on top of it. But those are little things, Clint, that I compliment you on continuing to remind all of us, and I'm one, of things that we can do. Now, there's one other thing that I've heard that you suggest, and it's probably one of our safest things to do, and that has to do with fire hydrants.
Oh, make sure those fire hydrants are dug out, swept off, and extremely recognizable. Because if you do have a problem on your block, you want those guys to immediately see it and be able to hook to it.
Absolutely. These are little things that mean a lot, and also is a help to the community and to us as residents. We're just doing little things, but that means a lot. And our street crews, I can't say enough about how hard they work. People don't realize the hours that they spend, and if they take a break, they come back and hit it again. And so it takes well, you've heard, a village to raise a child.
Oh, for sure.
It takes all of us working together so that we, as a Troy community, can have a safe place to drive and walk, and it takes a lot of us to do that. So I want to give you again a compliment, Clint. Even though we don't have this show all the time, you're out there suggesting and making recommendations that would have a direct benefit to all of us here in the community.
Well, you think about the street crews. Now the beginning of winter was kind of light for them, but ever since the word of the storm was coming, they were out pre-treating the roads, while everybody else is staying inside and trying to stay warm. These guys are out in the dead of night, running those plows and clearing the streets. I think just this past Monday is a true testament to it. While all the schools around us were running on delays Monday morning, Troy was up and operating, and we had the streets cleared.
Absolutely, and that pre-treat really does help. When you see those little lines going down the street, just understand that is us being preemptive of a possible snowstorm coming down the road, and it does help. It really does help us.
It's getting that salt down in the pavement, and it gives a little bonus security that it doesn't stick to the road. Then, you don't get that ice frozen right on there.
And the other suggestion, and I know you share this too, is because you're right up here at the studios watching the downtown all the time as people move around in the downtown. Be cautious, be respectful of each other. Give a lot of distance when the weather is that bad, because you never know when you're going to hit an ice spot.
And I will throw out another kudos to the street crews. Tuesday night at midnight or Wednesday morning at 12:01, those guys, while everybody else is sleeping warm in their bed, came downtown and started the big snow removal from the downtown. And that's a good thing, because we're looking at more snow this weekend.
Well, that's true. Snow can only go so many places, and so we have to get the primary and the secondary roads, and this last time we were able to hit the residential center. Mm-hmm. But when you do that, you got snow, you got to move. So what we do, once we get the main roads cleared and everything, we can go back in, take the snow piled up, and move it out. And I think our depot is down North Market Street by the ball fields. We'll stack it up, and it'll become a Troy Mountain for a while with snow.
Well, it's got to go somewhere, and like you said, you can only get so much in the downtown area, and as you keep pushing it out of the ways, you're just going to make essentially walls that would go around the quads. You wouldn't be able to get across to the sidewalks when you park.
Well,
so
patience is a virtue.
Patience is a virtue.
Just stay tuned,
sure.
and we just assure, and you've said this many times, assure our citizens that our street crews work very hard to do what they can to keep the roads safe and open.
All right. Move on. Monday is Martin Luther King Day, and you've got the Martin Luther King Walk.
We do have the walk. It'll start at the bakehouse right below you in the studio, and we'll gather around 9:15 for a 9:30 walk. We'll go down to the police station, which we will have prayer, obviously, for our first responders and the job that they have to do in all kinds of weather. And then we'll move. We'll have our walk continue. We'll go to the First United Methodist Church, and Kimma Cunningham, Pastor Cunningham from Richards Chapel, will be our keynote speaker. We'll have some worship song and sing and honor the life and times of Martin Luther King Jr. He had a dream. He had a dream that all of us one day would live in a nation where all the people would not be judged by the color of their skin. They would be judged by the character of their heart. And boy, wouldn't that be nice? There would be a lot more peace in the world if people just looked at a random act of kindness towards one another and a respect for each other, regardless of
the color of anyone's skin.
Right. And so we go there every year. We pay honor to the life and times of Martin Luther King Jr. And we will have a service for those who don't want to walk, because you never know, the temperatures could be pretty cold. Mm-hmm. But if you don't want to walk, you could come to the worship service sometime around, I would say 10:15. You want to gather at the Methodist Church, and like I said, Pastor Cunningham will be our keynote speaker. And then following that, all of us are invited over to First Place, which is across the street, and we'll have a luncheon together, a unity luncheon. And so the morning of the 21st will be very active. And I hope people do see that we are a community united. We have Festival of Nations. We have over 20 countries that represent our community that participate in August. A little better temperatures, a little warmer, maybe a little too bit warmer. But this is also a way of us to come together.
I want to add in on that with Black History Month kicking off in February. Lincoln Community Center does an incredible job putting different presentations and things together. You can check out their Facebook page, and they always have the details listed there. Would really like to see some nice turnout.
Well, Shane Carter does a wonderful job, but he'd be quick to say it's a team effort.
Yep.
There's a lot of folks that really have provided activities for young people and older alike to participate at Lincoln. It truly is a community center, and he has made it such, and so kudos to Shane for his efforts and leadership. But he'd be quick to say he has a great board, he has a great bunch of volunteers, and the people coming there, I think, really respect and appreciate the offerings that he presents.
As you always say, people need to be cheerleaders. I think that really is what it is, that Shane is such a cheerleader for the Lincoln Community Center, being one of the kids that was there as a child and growing up through the center, coming back and seeing the good that they do, knowing what the after-school program has done for the kids' grades. And just it improves them across the board, whether it's in athletics or in their studies or just amongst people.
Well, you've heard me say it's partnerships. It's people working together for a common goal and common vision. And when you do that, you have great communities. And we've been very blessed in Troy to have those kind of partnerships with different agencies, different boards, all coming together to provide a service. And that's what makes Troy special.
It is special indeed. Now, council, because of Martin Luther King Day, is going to be put off a day, so you're not actually meeting till next Tuesday.
Be next Tuesday on January 22nd, 7 o'clock at City Hall. Just don't want people to get out too soon, but you're always invited to come to a council meeting. And again, these are doers in our community, people who have given their time and talent to participate in city local government and to move our city forward. So I have great respect for all those who are willing to give of their time and their talent and run for office to represent our great community. So that will be Tuesday night. It'll just be a day late.
All right. And again, the walk is on Monday morning. Everyone's meeting at what time again?
About 9:15 will be the time I would suggest. We'll step off at 9:30.
I was going to say, I suggest they get downtown at about 8:30, and then they can go in and get breakfast.
Get breakfast, coffee, the bakehouse is where we gather.
Warm.
And there's so many good eating places even in the mornings that people can gather.
Even if you're in the mood for a little chocolate over at Winans in the morning.
There you go. Okay, well, we could share the dream and fellowship together and, just have a peaceful opportunity to get together.
Peaceful. I like that.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Mayor.
Thank you.
This has been the Mayor's Report with Mayor Michael Beamish. I'm Clint Myers on 107.1 WTJN.